Good morning. My name is Joshua Halpin. This is my History Social Studies Disciplinary Literacy presentation for EDCT 5940. I'd like to first thank all of my professors at SPU, as well as my mentor, teacher. They've been nothing but engaging, flexible, and here to help. So I really appreciate your help. I'd like to begin my presentation with a quote from someone who I admire very much, Barack Obama, or former President Barack Obama. And he said, "The study of history and social sciences is not a luxury. It is essential for citizenship and democracy." I think that there's been no other time in my memory where this has been so important. But let's get into the content of this presentation. The skills and strategy that we'll be focusing on in this presentation will be reading and listening, and as well as speaking, writing, and performing. In the reading and listening category, we're going to be looking at the classic DBQ, or the document-based question. We're going to go into creating a strategy called Create a Memorable. We are going to look at a strategy called creating a social media profile. For speaking, writing, and performing literacies, we'll be looking at the Socratic seminar, a mock trial, and the freeze framing of historical moments. Starting first with the classic DBQs. The reading and listening literacy we'll be looking at will be evaluating sources. This is central to the DBQ, where essentially students are given a series of documents or sources, primary or secondary, to analyze and then respond to a prompt. The evaluating sources skill is central to this. They build the skills of evaluating sources by requiring students to analyze, contextualize, and assess primary and secondary sources. Next, haven't had a chance to try this one, but this strategy seems like a lot of fun. The focus that we're going to have here is gathering information from sources. To create a model, students would build source gathering skills by researching multiple points of view, selecting symbols, and justifying choices with credible evidence. There's a lot of other bolt-ons that you could do with a project like that, and that's really kind of the fun part about teaching history and the social sciences, is that you can use one exercise to create strategies or incorporate different strategies into a single strategy, whether that's through reflections, script writing, research, partner work. There's really just a lot of different ways that you could make cover a lot of different historical and social studies literacy in a project like this. Very similar would be create a social media profile. But then for this point, we're going to focus on reading and listening, selecting sources. So students would need to develop and source selection skills by evaluating which facets, quotes, and best represent the figure in life, values, and impact. I had a chance to do a similar lesson for an English class, and it was really they kind of expanded it, where they made a series of like an Instagram story of a historical person's life or accomplishments, and it was one of the most hilarious things I ever said. The creativity was really quite amazing. So look forward to trying out this strategy, adapting it to history, and then really building out what other historical literacy strategies that could go with it. Moving on to the speaking, writing, and performing, using evidence. The classic Socratic seminar. Essentially, a Socratic seminar is a student-led structured conversation where the students build speaking skills through dialogue, writing skills, and through reflections, and performing skills through structured discussion. I've had the opportunity to be part of several of these. It's really a wonderful student-driven sort of lesson where the students are talking and learning from each other. When it's well done and they're engaged, it's really a joy to watch and to facilitate. Speaking, writing, and performing skills on this, presenting arguments and explanations. The classic mock trial, you'll recognize the judge there. I had a chance to preside over the trial of Andrew Jackson, which was about a 3-day lesson. And I had the chance to do it with role play counselors and without role play attorneys. And I really preferred it with the attorneys. However, they ended up doing far more work than your typical juror or witness. So there's considerations of how to break up the work when doing a mock trial, but in terms of engagement and learning, I think it was a really a fun strategy to not only build presenting arguments, but there's writing, there's also role playing and making claims and using evidence. That those literacies come to the forefront in a mock trial. Another one that I want to try is in the speaking, writing, and performing is freeze framing, where students would freeze frame moments in history. Think of the assassination of JFK or Abraham Lincoln, or maybe the Constitutional Congress, or something along those lines, where you would assign one student to kind of be the director and other students to act out the moment, and then freeze frame it, and then have an explanation, and then you could build writing skills into that in the form of a reflection, either by the actors or by the students. There's just a lot of different ways that you could do something like this and really get students out of their chairs and up on their feet and talking to us and really engaging with the content, which is really the sort of teacher that I aspire to be. Strategy integration. One of my favorite lessons that I had the pleasure of teaching this year was a Paris Peace Conference simulation. A synopsis of the lesson was students take on the roles of various countries that participate in the Paris Peace Conference. They're assigned seven different negotiation points. They try to persuade other nations, role-playing nations, to vote with them on these different negotiation points. It was a lot of fun. However, there's some moments that I think I missed where I could have gamified it more by keeping score by how different outcomes broke for each different country. But that's it's live and learn. But regardless, the historical social studies literacy skills that were taught were, of course, making claims, using evidence, creating arguments and presenting arguments and explanations. All the students had to make at least one 1-minute speech on whatever negotiation point they were assigned within their team countries. Students had a lot of fun with it, really engaged with the material, and we did a reflection afterwards to also build upon those skills already taught. Closing. I want to close kind of reiterating my point about the importance of historical and social studies education. We are in a time in this country's history that's really unprecedented, and those skills, especially critical thinking skills, will be crucial for the survival of our democracy, in my opinion. And the second point I'd like to make, that almost all of these strategies could serve three or four different historical and social studies literacies. That's just the nature of the discipline. And whether you're including a reflection with whatever you're doing, asking students to research, to build research skills, to produce something, whatever it is, you're going to get a lot of overlap with the different historical and social studies literacies, which really is, a lot of fun that you have in this discipline. I think it also is really important to use different types, and this is something that my mentor teacher really impressed on me, is that it's important to use different manners and lesson styles to reach different learning styles. It can't always be out of your chair performance. Sometimes they need to be researching and quietly, gaining knowledge through reading, writing, reflection, things like that. It can't always be, a mock trial, for lack of a better term. Finally, in this discipline, like most disciplines, or just about every discipline, it's important to work hard and have fun. Kids learn better when they're having fun, in my opinion. It doesn't have to be fun always every single day, but if you're hitting about half the time, then you're probably doing all right. Anyway, that is my presentation. I thank you for your time, and I look forward to the next steps.